All right, over the course of the last 6 months or so, there is one piece of golf equipment that I've received more questions about than probably anything else. What is it? Stix. So if you're not familiar with Stix, essentially it's a newer golf club manufacturer that basically makes high quality clubs direct to consumer. So their pitch is, we're gonna send you an incredible set of golf clubs without the markup of the middleman. But the question is, are they actually as good as going and getting, a set of clubs from Titleist or Mizuno or Callaway or TaylorMade? And that's what we are going to find out here. So I have yet to actually ever see a set of Stix in person. So me unboxing this is going to be the first time I've ever laid eyes on a set of Stix golf clubs. But something you need to know about me and my golf game currently. It's, well, not great. And we'll just say over the course of the last 3 or 4 years, it's regressed. And so the clubs that I was fit for a while back, maybe my swing speed has slowed down a little bit, my slice has gotten worse. So the clubs I was fit for way back when, I don't know that they're the perfect fit for me where my game currently stands. So, I don't know, is Stix the answer? A new driver, a new putter, new 3-wood, a new 5-wood, the whole shebang is here. And so I'm really excited to see what these are all about. I'm excited to see them. I'm excited to get them out on the course. And that's what we're talking about in today's video. We're gonna talk about whether or not you should consider picking up a set of Stix. And based on what I've heard, I've got high expectations. So let's find out if they live up to them. Okay, this is gonna be awkward, but we're gonna do it. Let's see what we got. Oh. Just like that. You get the whole bag, all the clubs. Get out of here. There we go. What more do you need to see? What do we got here? We got a 7-iron. First impression. All right, these are pretty sleek and pretty sexy. So graphite shafts, stiff shafts, curious to see how those go, but the whole like matte black look, I don't know if you can tell, I'm pretty much kind of a all black, neutral color kind of guy, and these fit pretty well. I'm curious to see how the matte color, how that holds up over the course of dozens of rounds, but I mean, got some nice milling here. I don't know if you can see this kind of red accent here. Looks pretty good. Wow, first thought is, feels pretty high quality. Oh, I don't know, I'm excited to get these on the course. What about the driver? What do we think about the driver? 10.5 degree, 460 cc titanium driver. So, yeah, the look is cool. Kind of, like I said, matte gray, matte black. You get a little shiny kind of chrome look there, which is kind of cool. Okay, so far, biggest surprise, this putter feels legit. Like the milling on the face looks super high end. It's got some like great weight to it. It's got a slightly oversized grip. Like this, I don't know. This feels pretty good. Like my thought when I got these was like, okay, they're in huge demand. People are interested in them. I'm gonna do a review. We'll see what happens. But as I take these out of the bag one by one, I've now seen the 7-iron, the driver, the putter. Like they're more impressive than I expect them to be in terms of the look, in terms of build quality, in terms of the feel. Now, I have not hit a single golf ball with them, so who knows what they're actually going to be like to use and perform. But I gotta say, my expectations are now pretty high and I'm really excited to find out. Okay, I'm not gonna say it's all the driver, but first 2 drives ever hit with the Stix driver, that's the first ball. We had a second one just to see how it would feel, and that's the second ball. So off to a good start. All right, got about 120 in with the pitch and wedge. This is the first time I've ever hit this club, so see how it goes. Okay, I swear I am not making this up. Driver, middle of the fairway. Second shot, pitching wedge. And here's where we're sitting. We're sitting about 4 feet out. Let's see what this putter can do. I swear, I am not making this up. First 3 shots, well 4 because I hit 2 drives. First shots with Stix clubs, we make a birdie on a hole that, honestly, I can't remember the last time I birdied this hole. So again, not saying it's the clubs, but we're off to a good start. Okay, so now we've done the unboxing, I've gotten them out on the course, and let's just say I've got some thoughts about these clubs. We're gonna cover the performance of each club, we're gonna talk about the buying process, we're gonna talk about the clubs I like, the clubs I don't like, the pros, the cons, all of those things. So if that's what you're looking for, keep watching. Okay, so right now you might be wondering, wait, a full set of clubs for under $1,000, is this actually possible? So what makes Stix golf clubs possible? How do they get the price down? Well, it's a direct-to-consumer brand, which means you're not gonna be able to go into your local golf shop and pick up a set of Stix. You have to buy them through their website or a handful of third-party other websites like playbetter.com. You can also pick up Stix clubs. So because of that, because they're not generally paying a third party, they can keep the prices lower and give you better quality without the markup of a brand like TaylorMade or Titleist or Ping or any other brands. Not to mention, a lot of those other brands spend a lot of extra money on design, on marketing, and things that don't necessarily help your golf game, but just make everything seem cooler than maybe it actually is. So Stix tries to pare all of that down as much as possible to give you a really, really high quality product without all the extraneous stuff that can add to cost. So before we go into the performance of these clubs, let's real quick talk about the buying process, because chances are, if you're thinking about buying a nicer set of clubs, you're probably planning to go get fit for them. And you might be thinking, well, it's like, if I'm buying these online, if I've never hit them, then how am I going to do that and does it work? So they've actually really streamlined the buying process. They're gonna ask you a handful of questions about your golf game, about your body type, about where you're at, so that you can get the right clubs for you. But it's never so much that it's overwhelming. So they're gonna ask for your height. There's 5 different lengths of clubs going from an inch short to an inch long in a half-inch increments. So mine personally are half an inch longer than standard as I'm 6'2". You've got 3 choices of shafts. You've got a regular shaft, a stiff shaft, and more of kind of like a senior flex. And I got the stiff shaft, and I mean, they're not the stiffest clubs in the world, but honestly, they were stiffer than I expected them to be. And because my golf game has kind of gone downhill, I thought about getting the regular shaft to see if maybe it can help me with some distance. And I'm really glad that I went with the stiff. Again, kind of continues to give me a little bit more control. As I get more confidence in my golf game, having the stiff shafts I think are going to be the right move. But they can walk you through that depending on where your golf game is at to figure out which one is right for you. You can choose between matte black and traditional silver heads, and there might be a couple other things that you choose in there, but generally speaking, that's pretty much it. So they make it pretty easy, and there's a fitting guide to help walk you through figuring out which one is right for you. Also, the thing that goes along with this is, well, what if I just don't like the clubs? What if they're not for me? They've got a 30-day trial period, 30-day return policy, so go out, play with them for a couple weeks. If they're not for you, you can send them back free of charge, no harm, no foul. And I feel like that kind of has to be a policy for a company like this, because if people are taking a shot on the dark, if they're gonna spend hundreds of dollars on you, on a product they have never used, then you've gotta have a pretty solid refund policy, and fortunately Stix does. So feel comforted knowing you can get them for 30 days, you can take them out for a test drive, and if they don't work for you, you can get a refund, no questions asked. No problem. So let's talk about first impressions. I pulled these bad boys out of the box, and one of the things you will notice with them is matte black everything. They now do come in silver clubs as well, but generally speaking, their signature look is matte black irons, matte black shafts, matte black everything, and I personally love the look. I was very surprised. I expected the durability on these to be, well, horrible. If you've ever seen someone that plays colored clubs, usually after like one round it's starting to wear, supposedly Stix uses some super fancy diamond coating that is more durable than 95% of other colored clubs on the market. I've played about half a dozen rounds with my Stix set so far, and honestly, they look great. There is absolutely no wear on the wedges. There is no signs of fading yet. So already I'm pretty impressed with their durability. We'll see what happens over the long term, but the black coating not only looks good, it seems pretty durable as well. So when you order your clubs, you can also get a Stix bag along with it. And overall, I was really impressed with the quality of the bag. Had plenty of storage, it seemed well built, it was comfortable to use on the course, it looked pretty good with the dark gray, kind of black branding that's consistent with the clubs. But the retail price of it is $250. Sometimes you might find it packaged with a discount with clubs that's gonna make it cheaper. But at that price point, I think there's a lot of better options, honestly. I would probably go out and get a Jones Utility Trooper Silver, which is one of my favorite bags of all time, and you can get that for right around that price point. Or I'd spend a little bit of extra money, get one of the new Sun Mountain mid-stripe bags, or perhaps a Vessel or something along those lines. So bag is perfectly serviceable. If you get a good deal on it, you definitely will be happy with it, but I think there's some better options that go along with it. So you can buy Stix clubs one-off on the website, but generally speaking, if you're thinking about Stix, you're probably going to get a full set. So the full set, the 14 set retails for $1,000. You can get an 11 club set that's like $800, and then you can get a 9 club set that I think retails for $700. Worth noting, I'm shooting this in early November 2022. They have been on sale at 20% off, so you can get a full set of clubs for around $800, which is absolutely bonkers. By the time this video goes live, or by the time you are watching this possibly into 2023, the pricing may change, so do your own research. But even at $1,000, I think you're gonna find this is a pretty killer deal, and if you get it less than that, then it's a really, really killer deal. So because I got the complete set, I'm gonna give you my thoughts on all of the clubs. The complete set comes with a driver, 3 and 5 woods, a 4 hybrid, 5 iron through pitching wedge, and then a 52, a 56, and a 60. But here's the thing about the Stix lineup as a whole. They are positioned to be kind of your first set after you start playing golf. And so I've been as low as like a 7, and now I'm trending up towards like 12, 13, 14. Literally on my trip back east, I shot an 85 and then I shot 103 the next day. My golf game is kind of in shambles. So I started playing with these, and one of the things I immediately noticed is I was hitting the ball straighter. I wasn't having massive slices. And in some cases, I actually had a draw on the ball. And so after talking to the Stix team, that's one of the things that they mentioned was the fact that most people that are, newer players, they're getting started, their big miss is a slice. So all of these clubs are compensating to try and, rein that slice in. And as someone who has a slice and has had to compensate it for his entire golfing career, I noticed it in a big way. All the time with my irons, I basically shift, I aim out left, and I bring the ball back in. And what I found over the first few rounds with my Stix clubs is I would aim left to compensate for it, and the ball would go dead straight left. And I was like, it doesn't normally do that. And so I would have to adjust. And this is taking, I'm still working on this, aligning properly to plan to hit the ball straight. And when I do, it goes straight. And the distances have been pretty spot on for what I expected them to be compared to my Mizuno clubs. So with this Stix set, I expected to basically play 2 or 3 rounds with them, review them, and call it good. But, spoiler alert, I'm keeping them in the bag for the time being. I'm taking a trip to Georgia here coming up. By the time you see this, I'll have already done it, and I'm taking these clubs with me, which I honestly didn't expect to do. But real quick, let's just go through the bag. We'll talk about the clubs I like and some of the ones I don't like as much. Let's start with the driver. It's okay. The sound isn't great. It's not as bad as the old Nike Sasquatch drivers, but it's kind of starting to get into that realm. But the fact it's been helping my slice tremendously has kind of been what's led to me keeping it in the bag for the moment. I think there's a good chance I'll probably go back to my Callaway, for a little while just to kind of compare them more side to side. But it feels okay. The distance is good. It helps your slice. If this is your first driver, or if you were not coming from a $500 driver, I think you're going to be perfectly happy with this, considering you can get these clubs for $800 to $1,000. It is a very solid driver. All right, the woods, the 3 wood and the 5 wood, I actually like better than the driver. They feel really good. I'm able to get solid distance on it. Again, they're helping correct my slice. If you're still relatively new to golf and you have a tough time making contact with a ball in the fairway with your 3 wood or 5 wood, this isn't necessarily going to automatically solve that problem, but they're great clubs to grow into, and having that 5 wood is a really solid option for helping you kind of get the ball up. And I found it's made it easier for me to do so as well. So the distance is there, the feel is there, and I've really liked the 3 wood and the 5 wood. Okay, arguably my least favorite club in the Stix set is the 4 hybrid. So over the course of the last 6 months or so, my golf game has been in shambles, has been pretty bad. My driver has been in really rough shape. So I've been hitting my 4 iron a lot off the tee. Now I hit my 4 iron 195 to 200. I've gotten pretty consistent with it. I love my 4 iron. So I was a little disappointed to see the Stix set didn't have a proper 4 iron, but obviously looking at the target market, for most people, a 4 hybrid is probably going to be a better option. But maybe it's just because I'm not used to hitting hybrids. I have not had a good experience with this club. I haven't been making good contact. It seems slicier than some of the other clubs, doesn't have a great feel. And again, take that for what it's worth. I'm not a pro golfer. I'm not a plus handicap. So generally speaking, I think the Stix clubs kind of get better as you go through the set. The irons are really solid. Like I said, the fact they're compensating for my slice, allowing me to hit straighter, at times even having a little bit of a draw, has been awesome. The irons, I will say, are very forgiving. They're more forgiving than my Mizunos, but when you hit it pure, it is not the same experience as if I hit my Mizunos pure. I don't know if it's because those are forged or what. You know, it feels solid, it feels nice when you hit this well, but it does not feel as nice, as confidence-inducing as my old clubs. That being said, if I mishit this, it also doesn't necessarily feel great, but it's not giving me that big slice. It is more forgiving on the mishits than those other clubs. So it's kind of that middle line. It's going to be more forgiving on the bottom end, but it's not going to feel quite as good on the top end. That being said, they still feel great, and I found myself hitting as many or more greens lately with these clubs as I have been with my old clubs. So especially as I kind of dial in my alignment, as I'm dialing my distances, they're really starting to feel good, and I'm really starting to be pretty confident in my ability to go out and actually score with the Stix irons. All right, the wedges. I honestly think these wedges are phenomenal for the price. Right now, I've got a couple Mizuno irons and a 56-degree Mura wedge, which honestly, like, you can't compare these to a Mura. It's not like the build quality, the craftsmanship, the touch, the feel is Mura quality. But for someone who's not like a scratch golfer, it could just be the fact that these have grooves that aren't as worn down as my older clubs, because I've been playing with those wedges for a long time. I'm finding it easy to get the ball to spin. I'm finding it easy to get the ball to check. And I'm generally hitting really solid chips. I feel really, really confident with these.
Yep, think that's gonna work.
So with the 52, and I'm like 80 to 100 yards out, I've been finding that club really confidence-inducing. I can take a full swing and feel confident that I'm going to drop it on the green and have a pretty good putt at making a good score. And then when I'm on the rough, out of the sand, both the 56 and the 60 have been performing really well. And finally, the putter. So the putter's got kind of a mid-sized grip. It's a little bit of an oversized grip, and this is my favorite part of the whole set. The weight, the feel, everything about it for me is a step up from what I have been doing. And the putter I've got, it was a company that's not around anymore. I got it in probably 2014, but it was like a $500 custom fit putter. In this, to me, the feel is better. So at impact, it has kind of a deader, softer feel. It's not super hot. And I've been finding for me, that's been able to keep me from blasting it past and actually dropping putts close, so I've got more tap-ins. My putting with this has been really as good or better as it's been as of late. And every time I get to the green with it, I just feel like I've got kind of more balanced pendulum motion that's just left me feeling really good about my putting ability. And it feels good, it's fun to use. Obviously, it's gonna kind of depend on what type of putter you're used to playing. If you're used to playing kind of a blade putter, or if you're used to playing a big mallet, that's gonna feel a little bit different than this. I don't even know what you would call this. But honestly, I have loved the putter, and regardless of what I do with the rest of the set, I have a feeling I'm gonna keep using this for a long time to come. Okay, I know this has been a little bit of a long video, but let's end with the big question: do I recommend Stix Golf? And you should probably be able to tell this by now, but the answer is a pretty freaking resounding yes. I have been so unbelievably impressed by Stix. Are they going to be on par for like a custom fit $2,000, $3,000 set of Titleist or TaylorMade? No, obviously not. If you're a plus handicap, should you be switching to Stix Golf? No, probably not. But for that person that's kind of like a mid to high handicapper, you're looking for that first real set of clubs you want to grow into, or if you've been finding, like maybe you're like me and your current clubs have been a little bit too much. You wanted to grow into them and they haven't been forgiving enough for you, and you need something that's a little bit more forgiving, especially if you have a slice, then these could be perfect. So the best compliment I can give Stix Golf is the fact that I've got access to a ton of golf equipment, and I am choosing for the moment to keep this in my bag and to continue using them myself in my personal rounds of golf. And I feel like that says a lot. And I'm excited to go out and use it. It's not just like, oh, I think it's gonna help me. Like, no, I'm genuinely excited about using these Stix clubs. And like I said, I'm sacrificing a little bit of control. I'm sacrificing a little bit of that when I'm playing well. The feel is not where it was with my old Mizunos, but it's a little bit more forgiving. It's helping the slice, and I think it's going to help me shoot lower scores because I just haven't been playing that well. And these are going to help me kind of get back to that point where I've got a little bit more confidence. So go to stix.golf, not .com, it's stix.golf. You can go see all of the options that are available to you. I highly recommend it. And if you want more info, I've got my written review on breaking80.com. You can find that below. And if you like this video, maybe consider giving it a thumbs up, do the subscribe, notification bell, all the things, and leave a comment. If you have any questions about these clubs, I'm now pretty intimately familiar with them, and I'm happy to help. There is obviously a lot I could cover here, and I'm sure there's things I left out with this video, so happy to answer any comments you have if you are thinking about buying this. With that, I hope you have an excellent day, and we will see you on the next video.